When someone isn't feeling good, maybe they're injured, maybe they're sick, it's always nice to get a little note in the mail. So in this lesson, we're going to be creating this little Get Well Soon card featuring some cute little stamps from Lawn Fawn. And this design is also a great design if you have random little image stamps that you're not quite sure how to incorporate onto your cards. This is a great way to do so. So the first thing that we are going to do is pull out our stamp set. You can see this is a very little stamp set. It's so cute. And we're going to pull off the Band-Aid, and we'll also do the little medicine bottle. And we're going to stamp onto some of this Lawn Fawn pattern paper. I love stamping these kinds of images onto pattern paper. Maybe I don't feel like coloring them, or maybe I'm not quite sure how I want to color them. And I'm going to use an archival ink only because I tend to use an archival ink if I don't intend to color or if I just want to make sure it's not going to smudge. That's always my go-to. I've got the one, and then I'm going to do the bandage. And you can place it anywhere you like. I love with the clear stamp and the clear block that it's very easy to see exactly where you want to place it. Now, if you have the coordinating dies, you can punch those out. Otherwise, just use your scissors and hand cut them out. It's super, super quick and easy with these simple little shapes. Our third stamp is our little birdie nurse. And for that, I'm going to go on to white cardstock because I do want to be able to color the little bird just a little bit. All right, so once you've got those cut out, here I've got a couple already done here. We're going to go ahead and color our bird, and I'm also going to color the little heart there on the medicine bottle. So we'll do the little birdie first. I'm just going to take a little bit of yellow watercolor. You could use inks, watercolors, markers, really whatever you happen to have, because we're not going to make this a really complicated look. The card's going to be really nice, clean, and simple, so we don't need to have a lot of technique here. I'm just going to do that up in yellow and then grab my little paper towel here because I'm going to want to really dry off this brush and really bring it to a nice point, because next I want to go for the orange, and I want to make sure it only has the absolute minimum water that we need, since that's such a tiny little space. I don't want the watercolor to go everywhere. So a little bit of orange there, and then finally, same thing as with the orange, just make sure it's fairly dry, and we're gonna go into the pink and grab a little bit of pink for our heart. That's just gonna help that stand out. If you wanted to add some stickles or some glossy accents or anything like that, you could do that as well. Now that we have our three little stamps all ready to go, we need to prep the little squares for our stamps. And to do that, I am going to stamp the sentiment, Get Well Soon, but I'm only going to stamp parts of it. And what I mean by that is on each square, I'm going to stamp one of the words. So to do this, first of all, it's real easy to get the edge words. The word get, I'm just going to ink that one up, and then I'm going to place it and stamp it towards the edge of the square where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just on my paper towel, or if you have a wet wipe or something else, just kind of make sure that there's no more black ink there on the word get. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the word soon, since that's the other one. Now, if you get a little bit of ink on the word that you don't intend to, you can always just wipe that off, like so. And then again, repeat so that we're making sure that there's no ink on there. And then the last thing that we'll do is the word well. Now to do the word well, one of the other words is definitely going to get some ink on it. Since it's in the middle, there's not really any avoiding that. That's all right, because again, I'm just going to take my paper towel here and just make sure that I work any excess ink off. It is a little bit time consuming, I suppose, but really it's totally worth it because it looks so cute to have these words all stamped just so. All right, once we have these set, it's time to assemble our card. So to assemble our card, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to put some foam adhesive, and I'm going to use these smaller squares, little foam adhesive dot on each of our images. And for this one, I'll do 2 since it's kind of long here. And just place them wherever you want. Now, like I said before, if you have some stamps that you would like to use, or maybe you're not sure because they're kind of little image stamps and you're not really sure they get lost on a card, putting them onto squares, making a grid of sorts, or just a little one like this, little three square lined up. It makes it so that they're all nice and organized and they each have a home. They're not just floating all around the card. And I just love the results. So simple, but so pretty. So now we have got our card, and I am making kind of a long and skinny card here. You can make it any shape that you would like. Again, I have more of the Lawn Fawn plaid pattern paper here. I'm going on to white cardstock. And then I'm going to place these across just so that I can see where they're going to be, so that I can gauge where I would like to actually adhere them down. And then I'll start with the middle one. I'm not going to worry about being really super precise here, but you do want to just kind of make sure they're somewhat centered. And then once they're all 3 lined up, the only thing left to do, if you would like, I always like a little bit of ink, and I feel like with the white base here, it looks really nice. So I'm going to take some of the Merman ink from Lawn Fawn. And I love using the Lawn Fawn inks with their papers because they really coordinate so beautifully. I'm going to take that and just gently edge. I'm not trying to make it super grungy or anything. I'm just trying to add a very thin edge of color there. And there we go. We have a card ready to send some smiles to someone who maybe is feeling a little under the weather.